You ever stop and think about why you buy the things you do? I mean, from your morning coffee to, I don't know, the car you're saving up for, there's this powerful, kind of invisible force shaping all of it. Well, that force is called demand, and it's one of the absolute cornerstones of economics. So let's dig in and see how it's secretly running our world. All right, let's kick things off with a question. What is the real difference between, say, wanting a Lamborghini and actually buying a latte? I mean, a lot of us might want the Lambo, right? But what we actually buy is the coffee. Now, in just everyday chat, we might say we demand both. But in the world of economics, those two things are completely different beasts. And figuring out why is, well, it's everything. And that brings us right to our first huge point. See, economics draws a really sharp line in the sand between just wanting something and actually demanding it. It's not about a simple wish. It's about a concrete plan of action. So here's the official definition. For something to be considered demand in an economic sense, it's thought to be what's called an effective desire. That means three boxes have to be ticked. One, you have to want the thing. Two, you have to be willing to actually spend your money on it. And three, this is the big one, you have to have the ability to pay for it. You need all three, no exception. This really spells it out, right? Daydreaming about a new TV, that's just desire. But having the money in your account, heading to the store, and being genuinely ready to swipe your card, that's what turns a simple wish into real, measurable economic demand. It's literally the difference between dreaming and doing. Okay, so now that we've nailed down what demand actually is, we can get to the really cool part, the golden rule that governs it all. This is probably one of the most famous ideas in all of economics, and I promise you, you see it working every single day. And here it is. It's just beautifully simple, isn't it? When the price of something drops, we tend to buy more of it. And when the price climbs, we buy less. I mean, it just makes sense. It's intuitive. But pay close attention to that first part, other things being equal. That little phrase is a huge deal, and we're definitely going to circle back to it. So this is what that law looks like visually. This is a demand curve. And you'll notice right away, it slopes down. Just follow along. As the price, which is on that vertical line, falls from 100 down to 70, look what happens to the quantity of apples people want. It jumps from just 1 kilogram all the way to 6. Lower price, more apples. Simple as that. Okay, but why? Why does this happen so consistently? This isn't just about lines on a graph. It's about us. It's about human psychology. And it turns out there are a couple of really powerful reasons behind why we all behave this way. First up is something called the income effect. Think of it like this. When the price of something you buy all the time, like gas or coffee, goes down, it's like you got a tiny surprise raise. Suddenly, your money has more muscle, more purchasing power. You feel a little richer, so you can afford to buy more of that thing without messing up your budget. And the second reason? That's the substitution effect. We're all looking for the best deal, right? So let's say the price of tea suddenly drops. All of a sudden, it looks way more attractive compared to its rival, coffee. Even if you're a die-hard coffee fan, that lower price might be enough to make you switch or substitute your morning cup. And just like that, the demand for tea goes up. All right, let's level up. Remember that phrase I told you to hang on to, other things being equal? Well, what happens when other things aren't equal? What if something besides the price changes? This, my friends, is where it gets really interesting. There's a whole bunch of things that can totally change how much we want something, even if the price doesn't budge one bit. I mean, you get a pay raise, you'll probably buy more stuff. A new trend takes off on social media, suddenly everyone wants that product. These are what economists call determinants, and they don't just move a point on the line, they shift the entire curve. Let's zoom in on the prices of related goods part, because this one's really neat. You've got substitutes, like tea and coffee. If coffee gets super expensive, what happens? More people start buying tea. Simple. But then you have complements, things that go together, like cars and gasoline. If the price of gas goes through the roof, people might think twice about buying a big gas-guzzling car, right? So demand for cars could actually fall. Okay, this next part is maybe the most important distinction we're going to make, so listen closely. In economics, a change in quantity demanded is not the same thing as a change in demand. They sound almost identical, but they mean two totally different things. Getting this right is crucial. And here's what that looks like. On the left, when the price of a product itself changes, we just move along the curve we already have. We go from point A to point B. That's a change in quantity demanded. But on the right, when something else changes, like you get that big promotion, the entire curve picks up and moves. That's a change in demand. It's a whole new reality. All right, so just when you think you've got this golden rule all figured out, economics does what it does best and throws a massive curveball at us. Because it turns out there are these rare, absolutely fascinating cases where the law of demand just breaks. So, does this law always hold true? Is it like the law of gravity? Or are there times when we humans just do things that seem to fly in the face of all economic logic? The answer is a big yes. Just look at this. This is an upward sloping demand curve. This chart is showing us that as the price goes up, the amount people want to buy also goes up. It's the exact opposite of everything we've just been talking about. What in the world is going on here? Well, there are two main reasons this can happen. First, you have what are called Veblen goods. Think luxury watches, designer bags, diamonds. For these things, the high price tag is the point. It's a status symbol. The more expensive it is, the more people want it. Then you have the second, much rarer case, Giffen goods. This one's a bit tragic, actually. It's about staple foods for extremely poor households. Imagine the price of their basic grain goes up. They can no longer afford any meat or vegetables, so they have to spend all their money buying even more of that grain just to get enough calories to survive. And that first one, the luxury one, has a name: the Veblen effect. It's all about the psychology of status. We see a high price and our brain just assumes higher quality or more exclusive. For these goods, the price isn't a bug, it's a feature. In fact, if a luxury brand put its stuff on sale, its demand could actually go down because it loses that exclusive vibe. So there you have it, from that simple, predictable downward slope to the weird and wonderful exceptions that break all the rules. Demand is this incredible lens for looking at the world. The next time you see a 50% off sign, or you see the price of gas go up, or you walk past a super high-end luxury store, you'll know the secret economic forces pulling the strings. So the question is, what are you going to see differently now?